The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and are not necessarily those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. Time now for European Kitchens and Bath here on WSTU. Call in with questions and comments. 220-9788. 220-WSTU. Now here's your host, John Campion.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is your host, John Campion, with world-famous co-host Frank Mezzapel. And we are here on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Temperature, I think it's getting ready to snow outside, Frank.
It's starting to chill down.
It dropped like 20 degrees, but here we are with our show about whatever we want it to be. And today is really going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to just kind of briefly let you know who's sitting over to my right. Who's become a really great friend, and of course, one of my heroes is Father Christian Anderson.
Hey, man.
Welcome.
Hey.
Did you use the H word? You say hero? You're my hero.
Nah, you're my hero, man. I'm telling you.
Father Anderson, we have a tradition that we've started here on this show that everybody gets some music assigned to them when they come in, right?
You bet.
So
I
got Gregorian chant for.
That's good. It's good for the collar.
There you go.
Can we get some incense in here?
Yeah, there you go.
Smoke this place out. Make it smell like church.
Yeah, there it is. All right.
Oh, this is great. You know, I'm kind of actually Father Anderson is he can show us up on a lot of the stuff he does at our church. He is the assistant rector, father, whatever you want to call him. I call him all kinds of things, but I always try to be respectful and call him Father Anderson over at St. Mary's Episcopal Church over at on Southeast Ocean Boulevard, right across from the Martin North Hospital. And Father Christian kind of came to us as a gift from the big fella upstairs. It's been almost 2 years, has it not?
It has. We're coming right on 2 years.
Well, if you have never met this guy in person, we hope you can come see him do his thing over at our wonderful campus sometimes.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I'm just a parishioner over there, but love being involved. And the stories we don't have a lot. It goes so fast on this show. I've been bugging Christian. I'm just going to call him that for now to come be on the show with us. But I'm going to have him kind of tell us a few things. I'm going to actually kind of get you on a couple things here, okay?
Oh, boy.
One of the cool things he does is he does have, I'm going to talk about this because he's got a really great YouTube deal he does every week. And, you can always correct me because I still don't understand how all that stuff works. And I'd rather hear you talk than me, but you have a thing called T3T.
Yeah.
And tell us what that is.
The T3T, that's the top 3 things you need to know. Because, we have a big old campus, so there's just tons of stuff going on all the time. So I try to get a parishioner, which you should be the next one. We could actually do it here. And you get a parishioner to talk about the top 3 things that you need to know. And then during that time, you get to meet this parishioner and be like, I never knew John Campion. And I always knew he had like this real nice, luxurious bathroom stuff that he sold. But I didn't know also that he was a big personality, had a great sense of humor, and he's a parishioner. And people are like, I like this place. So,
See?
Yeah, see, and he's on the sermon.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a really cool thing. It's fun to watch that.
Yeah.
Then the other thing is that he does what he calls the T's.
All right.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
totally different.
It is.
And you do that each week, kind of related to what the gospel is going to be about that day, right?
Exactly.
That week.
If I could bring someone in, that helps too. Sometimes you bring in the children; they usually get the most amount of views because people like watching kids talk about scripture. But then I'll get some other parishioners, or sometimes just myself, and try to get like one question out of that for people to really think about before they walk to service. The whole idea is you don't just come into church cold. You come in maybe thinking about some kind of challenging question or something in your life that you can bring to that service and allow that to move through the worship.
And when you come over to our church, It's exactly that's the way I look at it. It's not really just a church. I mean, it's everything, and it's grown over the years to get a little mix of a different crowd. You know, we are in a older area, but we've got such a great mix of people over there. You can go to Frank, you can go to like what, five services on a weekend, 6 services.
We got Saturday at 5, and then on Sunday morning you got 7:30 a.m. 2 9 o'clocks. So we have a dueling 9 o'clock. So one, it's like a rock band, crazy, some people put their hands in the air kind of thing, service, casual, beachwear, whatever, come as you are. The other 9 a.m. is more that kind of traditional classical type service. You might get some smoke. You definitely get the acolytes, the robes, the smells, the bells, the pomp, the circumstance. And then we have 11 o'clock as well. And then we got services throughout the whole week. So it's really cool to be a part of a church that has enough people interested in their spiritual journey and also the community of God to keep on showing up, and we need to add more services and add more ministries. It's cool.
You could imagine this guy sitting up there giving us some of the messages, some of the information going on Saturday when the little break came with some of the announcements, and one is, and tomorrow it's beer and brats. So,
nice.
That's probably the best thing about being Episcopal, having been raised as Catholic,
right,
and became a Catholic light many years ago when I got married, 33 years ago. So to a fine young lady.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's been great. And your journey here to Stuart has been kind of amazing. Can you just kind of tell us what you went to seminary and then you figured it out? I mean, I'm kind of at a loss of words because I look over at this great smile. He's just laughing so hard inside right now at me. But when Father Christian came, he had not been made official yet. And when he was, it was just a great event. So
you're like a deacon, or what is how does that process work?
Yeah, you come in
Thank you, Frank. God, I love you. That's why you're world famous.
World famous Frank. I came in as a deacon, so I was actually ordained in Los Angeles. That's they call your sending diocese. And so I was obedient and took vows to follow to be under that bishop. And then through a relationship in seminary led to someone saying, hey, Father Todd, that's my boss now, I think there's this guy who would be a good fit for your church, because Father Todd was looking to hire someone else. That guy couldn't take the job for other reasons. So he said, but I think this other guy I know who was at my internship, he's got that skill set you're looking for, because each church needs a different type of priest. You can't just, you don't want a square peg in a round hole. That's just usually a disaster. So he said, I think I know the kind of guy you're looking for. And then fortunately, I met Father Todd by a Skype interview when I was in Ecuador serving a church out there. And then
that's where you were. You were in Ecuador.
Yeah. Just for 3 months. But I was just serving a church out there. We did a Skype interview, and I just knew it was the right fit. I mean, the first thing he wanted to know is about if my heart's ever been broken. He wanted to know what my prayer life was like. You go to a lot of these interviews, and they want to know about your resume and how do you foresee the ministry and your vision, and all that stuff is good. But he really wanted to get down into the personal stuff. Can you sit down with someone who has a broken heart and be able to identify with them and help lead them in their walk as they try to heal from either a divorce or a loss of a son or alcoholism or something? I mean, these are the things you confront every day in the church. And if you haven't approached your own brokenness, how the heck are you going to be present for someone else who's trying to get through some murky water? So I knew it was the right fit. I asked my bishop back in LA if you have to ask to be released, because he kind of owns the rights to me. It's sort of like I'm not a free agent,
Yeah,
I'm a restricted free agent. So hopefully he released me, and fortunately he did. And then now I'm out here in Florida. I never thought I'd be here, but it's been
never
great.
thought I'd be here either. So
yeah, I hear that more and more from a lot of people. I never thought I'd be here, but we're here.
I never thought I'd be in South Florida. I never thought I'd live here.
Where'd you see yourself?
Just kind of, moving along through my corporate life and doing all those type of things. And the opportunity came to purchase the business from my parents, but also be close to my mom and dad. And the big thing there was making sure that my 2 boys at the time, who were in 5th grade and 9th grade, could have a relationship with their grandparents, because I hadn't lived around my parents, a couple of Michigan boys here, since I was in Michigan growing up. And when I got out of college and moved away in 79, You know, I
Yeah,
didn't live
game
around
over.
them
Yeah,
again
yeah.
till I moved here, and they'd been here for 20-some years. So, you know, here we are. So I guess I semi-retired when I was 45 when I moved here, and you know, my golf game's gone downhill since, just like yours, non-existent, right?
Yeah, but I have your club still
right.
sitting in the guest bathroom in my condo. I have them there, and I'm ready to use them.
Well, as long as they're in the guest bathroom, they're serving a good purpose, right?
I don't know how to use them. I just need someone who has enough patience to go out with me. 'Cause I told a parishioner the other day, like Michael Yoakum, I was like, "So, you ready to do
Michael,
this?" He's like, "Yeah, Father Christian, why don't you go to the driving range first?" So, you know, I don't think he wanted me to waste his time. You know.
You should connect with James Stammer, who's our Wednesday golf guy.
That's right.
You need to talk with him.
He writes article in the Hometown News every week.
He can hook you up with a good golf course to go to, and then hook you up with some good pros to help you out with some good lessons.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
You know, well, actually, a
Yeah.
lesson would be helpful.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, I got you
no, that's a
covered,
good. That's
Father.
good.
I
That's
get you
yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
Frank, he does that. He does that. He saves
hook him
me
up.
every week.
Yeah.
He saves me every week. So, along with that, you were what's the word when you were official.
Yeah, ordained.
Ordained,
Yeah.
thank you. What a great ceremony. The place was packed. People came from everywhere. And not only did that happen, but you also got that was a year before, you got married this past year.
Yeah, twice.
Twice. That's correct. To the same woman. It's amazing. It was so good the first time around. He said, "Let's do an encore," you know.
Encore production.
No,
Yes.
but he
Let's spend some more money. Yeah.
yeah, but he's got this beautiful, beautiful wife, Anastasia, and Christian, and we're very fortunate that we can be good friends.
I
and-
met her during the walk that we did there.
Is that when you bumped
Neighborhood.
into him and he looked down at you and you said, "Hey," he said, "Hey, little guy, get out of the way."
No, he wanted to
walked-
smack me right in the face. He said, "Hey, do you know who I am?"
Yeah, I'm world famous.
World famous Frank.
That's right. Or
We did the Stations of the Cross there from St. Monica's to St. Mary's. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, that was cool. It really turned out to be a glorious day.
I didn't know that was going on. I must not have read.
It was the first. It was the first one we ever did, right?
Yeah. First one, we're doing a neighborhood version of it. So you
So was
walk the town.
Right. So
Very
it was an
cool.
inaugural event. Okay.
Okay.
So with maybe some encouragement, we can get Father Anderson to make it an annual
Very cool.
event.
Well, he can get everybody together.
Yeah.
He took the kids on their mission trip to Colorado, right? Didn't you- was it
Yeah,
Colorado?
with Miss Alexis. That was that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And now we maxed out this year. We're going to New Mexico, and I think all those kids told other kids. That's always a good sign
Yeah.
when it's not your marketing that does it. It's because word of mouth.
Yep.
That's when you're like, okay, this is good. I'm glad that it went well for these kids that they're telling other ones. Sometimes church camp is hard to sell on kids, you know.
Well, I just want to make this comment here. I can go on record.
For the record, counselor.
Yeah, well, yeah, I always look at Frank. It's kind of like the censor board. No, I always say, "Frank, can I say that?" And he goes, "Well, you said it." So, but yeah, Dee Dee, we've lived here 15 years. But when we used to come visit my parents, and we'd be down here for maybe a Easter or something, we always went to St. Mary's because my mom's, "Oh, you got to go to this church," and so we did, and so we were there when Father Pittenger was there and everything, and it was good. Of course, now they have things named after. He was here a long time and had a great impact. And of course, the church has changed. You know this, and ours has still stayed with that good solid core that you have to have, right? Am I
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
But because of things coming in particular, I give a lot of credit to Dr. Father Todd Cederberg, because he is an amazing, amazing guy.
Right.
And I say that too because I was really fortunate that my wife Dee Dee was on the search committee for him, and they went up to Philadelphia and met him. And as it turns out, not only did we also spend a lot of time in Philly because my brother and my company I worked for was up there, but they also he's from Michigan, and he lived in Nashville and knew some of the same people we knew. He knew the bishop that we knew there. And one of the cool things about the church that Dee Dee and I went to in Brentwood, Tennessee, was I was doing business with McDonald's. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I used to my company used to sell McDonald's their kitchens, and one of the McDonald's owners, he used the McDonald's program they could use it to determine where they're going to put their next stores.
Right.
And so Frank Chalfant, I hope you're listening, but I know you're not. He is still up in Nashville, and he is the one who found the location where our missionary church was done.
Because they use the same program.
Use the same program, because when we moved there, we used to go to this Woodlawn elementary school or middle school for church, and they'd already been at the electric company and all these different places, and they used to pack up. You know how the churches all start, right, Christian? Yeah. They would just, they'd set up the church. I remember one time my kid went over to his locker to get his homework out and come home and finish it on Sunday, so he could make sure he didn't get in trouble on Monday. So, but found the church, and we have several mutual friends, and it was very cool. And Bishop Herlong, God rest his soul, he was one guy who really supported it, and Father Todd knows him well, and so it's kind of a cool connecting story when we'd meet with them over. I hope I didn't confuse everybody, but it's very exciting. It was very exciting.
It's interesting how the circle of friends and acquaintances work.
Connections. And
yes,
we did all that with church, and I love being involved there, and I help out a few times. My favorite thing to do for volunteering with is picking up the leftover bread at Panera every Tuesday night, which they are very generous in their donations to the St. Mary's Kitchen, which is an incredible thing. It's been going on for almost 30 years, I think, and they feed whoever wants to come every Wednesday over at the church, and they make good stuff.
Good meal.
They do. They fed us after we finished the Station of the Cross. We came back, had no idea. We were just
hanging around.
Yeah, I mean, we were done with the walk and enjoying that whole experience, and then Father Anderson says, "But wait, there's more." And of course, we had the blessing before the meal. We had a lovely meal. They have a beautiful place there for people to gather, and it was really.
Was this on a Wednesday?
Sunday.
No, it was a Sunday night after the walk.
Because they didn't have the piano player, did they?
Yeah.
They have a person who plays the piano on Wednesday nights, don't they?
Yeah. This was just a special meal just for the folks who did the walk, and the confirmants had to go. So we had all the confirmation, all the kids being confirmed. They had to go on the walk. That was part of their confirmation curriculum, and then they all stayed and had dinner with us. Meatball sandwiches.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Bob Schneider hooked it up.
All right. He's the man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Father Christian. What's your number one thing that you like to do when you're not? Well, I know you are just really embracing everything that's going on with you in the community of the church and the people. I mean, I just really can see it on you when I see you at church. I mean, that's every once in a while I see you maybe overeat my wife's food or something, but that's when we have to make a couple extra servings. The man can eat. You got to realize, Father Anderson, he could be a point guard for the Lakers because I think they start at 6'7". Very, very energetic guy. So
you burn a lot of calories when you're just jumping around trying to do that. I got to do that dog and pony show during the sermon to keep people awake.
Well, you do a great job.
Awake, that means that's a good start.
So really, let's say outside, what's your favorite? What is the thing that you like to do the most, other than maybe spend time with Anastasia and relax when you have 1 minute free in your life?
Well, I'm learning as a married man how important and valuable it is to get good quality time in with Anastasia. I'm being just totally honest. Yeah. That is just becoming such a high value. Where before you take it for granted because you're in courtship and we're in long distance, and then now all these other things. And we don't even have kids yet. God willing, we will. But right now, she's going into the workforce, and I'm in the workforce, and we have all these other things going on, and then you have to really be intentional about that quality time. And when you do have that quality time, and it's really good quality time, it's awesome. I mean, it's fantastic. But you just can't expect it to happen naturally. If you don't, it will just go by the wayside, and you get together, and then you fall asleep because you're just too tired, right? So you have to get good quality time hours. So I will say that first is a good one. And then I think getting out in nature. And if I can get out in nature, if I'm just going solo and jump on the bike, go for a good hike, and it's exciting to explore different parts of Florida because I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
It is very refreshing from a spiritual perspective. It's second to none. From an adventurous perspective, you run into an alligator or something, that's always fun. You run on a zigzag, right? If I approach an
That's
alligator.
right, serpentine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't approach one.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter how small
but
he
don't
is.
run in straight lines. Exactly.
That's-
Always-
So that's true. If I run
Yes.
in a zigzag, they
Yes.
really can't catch me?
that they can't make those turns.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Now,
can-
what about snakes?
Snakes can turn.
Yeah.
Darn it. They can turn too?
Yeah, you just got to know like which colors
Do
or
you,
what
do you freeze or what? Do you
No,
try to
you know,
move away
Well,
slowly?
here's the thing: they mostly are more afraid of you than you are of them.
Yeah, you are.
They're going to actually work to get away from you. If
You are a bigger
bother-
snake, unless you're in the Everglades.
If you bother a snake or go after them, they'll let you know they're unhappy. Yeah.
You got to know the shape of their head.
Yeah, well, then now you have these wild pigs that are out.
Oh, the boars.
the
yeah,
boars.
yeah,
Boars,
wild-
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
they don't play. They'll come
yeah.
at you,
No,
right?
they-
So
they
what do I
will.
do if they come at me? Is it like kickball? You just wait to get your timing right and
I haven't had to worry about that yet.
run. I mean,
But you know what was the strangest thing is one of the first times I was playing with a friend of mine when I moved here.
Yeah.
We were playing at the, I'll mention the club because it was pretty funny at the time, the Florida Club. We
Okay.
were playing, and I hit my ball long behind the screen.
All right.
And, it's kind of like all of a sudden I'm back there by myself, and there's this huge cage, Father. It's huge. I mean, it's like big enough for a person to walk in, and I see corn and all this stuff in the bottom, and I yell to my friend, I go, hey, Mark, what is this big cage doing back here? He goes, that's to catch the wild boars. And I mean, it was probably
was it a small little like doggy cage?
it was
Oh,
like
no.
5 feet tall.
These things weigh hundreds of pounds.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
What do you guys do? I mean, when you're out there in Chicago, we don't worry about these things. They're definitely not in
No,
LA.
no,
But-
not-
My daughter drove into one by accident. It was crossing Kenner Highway, and it just took out the front end of her car.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
yeah.
do they have the little canines coming out of their mouth? They have those things.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like little razorbacks.
Yeah, a couple years ago they were working on the side of I-95. They were fixing all the fences because the boars were running
Right,
across, getting
right.
hit. I'd always see them in the median or climbing up to go up to the, the dump areas there.
Are
and
they
so-
edible?
They actually are.
They are,
Yeah.
but the meat's a little gamey. It's not as.
Yeah, it's not like it's not something you're gonna
No.
throw the pork butt on your smoker for 18 hours. It'll be great.
So they just tear up. I mean, what's their addition to our ecology? Do they help like stir
they were
up
brought.
weeds or
They were
what?
brought here by the Spanish.
Okay.
When the Spanish were originally
It's
were
like Cliff
exploring,
Clavin. He knows all this stuff.
exploring the area, right? And then they had to bring food, right? And it was a self-replenishing food, and they were just little pigs. Well, they kind of morphed into these other animals over the couple hundred
This
years.
little piggy.
Yeah.
They just came over as little friendly, like little bacon bites, and they
Right.
grew into these little monsters.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Okay, so here's the deal, Father
Okay.
Christian. We have like 2 minutes left.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's
Yes,
how
sir.
fast this show goes, and
Run and gun.
It's amazing. So, if you ever get a chance to have a show, get an hour show. Okay.
An hour show.
No, it's great. But I'm
trying to get the rabbi on here with me.
Well,
Yeah.
the rabbi.
I think so. Yeah.
I-
I got. You got time for a joke? Wait a minute. I got.
You got time for a
Can you
joke.
imagine you get the rabbi and a priest on here?
right.
We can find an imam. We'll do it, but I don't know if there's a lot
Right.
of imams out here in Martin County. But we're working
I
on
got
it.
Jerry Lewis doing a little
Rabbi
shtick.
priests are seated together on the plane. And the flight attendant is checking to see if people would like a drink after takeoff. She approached the rabbi first. Rabbi, may I get you a drink after takeoff? He said, I'd like a tall scotch and soda with a twist. She said, fine. Then she approached the priest, Father, may I give you a drink after takeoff? He said, young lady, before I would allow alcohol to pass through these lips, I would rather commit adultery. The rabbi said, hold my order. I didn't know we had a choice.
All right, a little Jerry Lewis.
That's
doing it
good.
for you.
I really appreciate you digging those things up. I don't know where my time went since we talked yesterday, because Frank and I always talk every before the show, but the day before the show. But Christian, I really appreciate you coming down here on your crazy busy schedule and being here. Come down to St. Mary's, y'all. Check us out. What's the website?
It's a St. Mary's Stewart.org, and we'll have all the services listed and all the different ministries. There's a bunch to get involved with, and yeah, I'd love to have you. Gosh, we'd love to.
And you know what? You can come down there and you can hear Christian or Father Todd. They are, everybody always wonders what the cute little Spanish church is over on the corner. It's a great place. So
It is.
Thanks for tuning in today. Again, I'm so appreciative that you could take time out of your busy schedule. And these are great people to know. Frank, thank you as always for
Always a pleasure.
keeping me going. And again, Father Christian Anderson has been our guest today on the European Kitchens and Baths Show with John Campion, your host, and my great co-host, Frank Mezzapel, Big Frank, as he's known in many circles.
Just your circle.
All right. Thanks again, y'all.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Take care, Martin County.
And we'll be back next week
With more.
with much more.
Yeah.
Exactly. So stay tuned for that.